His divineness, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivrajagacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavana ki Jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Son of devotees, Krishna. All glories to the Son of devotees, Krishna. All glories to the Son of devotees, Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Can this fan go off? Do we need this fan? And all windows should be open in Kirki. Should we open this window here? Kirki pull out. You see? Can this window open? Piche. This window? That should also open. Read from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, text number 20. Anyonyam asit sanjalpa. Asit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Uttama shloka chetasam. Pura vendra pura strina. Sarvashruti manoharaha. Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Puravendra purastrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha. Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Puravendra purastrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha. Please chant.
Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Gauravendra purasrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha. Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Gauravendra purasrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha.
Vaishnavis.
Anyonyamasit sanjalpa.
Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Gauravendra purasrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha. Anyonyamasit sanjalpa. Uttama shloka chetasam. Gauravendra purasrina. Sarvashruti manoharaha.
Anyonyam. Among each other. Asit. There was. Sanjalpa. Talking. Uttama shloka. The Supreme. Who is praised. praised by selected poetry, Chaitasam, of those whose hearts are absorbed in that way. Purava Indra, the king of the Kurus, Pura, capital, Srinam, all the ladies, Sarva, all, Shruti, the Vedas, Manaha, Haraha, attractive to the mind. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is sung in select poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk of Him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all the Vedic literatures, the goal is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Factually, the glories of the Lord are depicted in such literature as the Vedas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. And in the Bhagavatam, they are specifically mentioned in respect to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, while the ladies on the tops of the houses in the capital of the kings of the Kuru dynasty were talking about the Lord, their talk was more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti mantra. There are songs of Thakur and Narottam Das, one of the acharyas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, composed in simple Bengali language. But Thakur Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very learned acharya of the same Sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das to be as good as Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. The language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. The ladies, who are all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord, develop the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, although such ladies might not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit or otherwise, still, whatever they spoke was more attractive than the Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns of the Upanishads are sometimes indirectly directed to the Supreme Lord, but the talks of the ladies were directly spoken of the Lord, and thus they were more pleasing to the heart. The ladies' talks appear to be more valuable than the learned Brahmana's benedictions. Once again, the verse, Anyonyam asit sanjalpa uttama shloka chaitasam kura vendra pura stridam sarva shruti manoharaha. Can we have these fans also off? I think we're getting a good cross breeze. Yeah? And why close this door? Better leave it open. We get air, hawa, ayage. It's a quiet air where these fans are making noise. So, yes? I don't hear construction now. Let the construction start later and we can change our minds perhaps. Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shravitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamayam Dati Svavalantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuga Bhagavatam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Shivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deepabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhagavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshakarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So it is my great honor and pleasure to be here today in ISKCON Bengaluru. What is the name of this center? Whitefield. This is the ISKCON Whitefield Center. ISKCON Whitefield Kendra. And I hear you're building a new center here. It's just there next door. I can see it out the window. And I can hear the construction sounds are starting. Once devotees went to ask Srila Prabhupada in Juhu during the class, Prabhupada, should we stop the construction sounds? And Prabhupada said, no, those sounds are non-different from Harinam Sankirtan. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we owe a great debt to Srila Prabhupada. He's taught us everything, how to eat, how to sleep, how to chant, how to pray, how to take prasadam. So many wonderful things Prabhupada has taught us. Without Srila Prabhupada, none of us would be sitting here today. We're so much indebted to him. And one of Srila Prabhupada's unlimited great gifts to us is the gift of Bhagavat Purana, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. This is Prabhupada's life work, Srila Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This is only Canto 1, and this is already heavy. Guru means heavy. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is heavy. And this is only Canto 1. Imagine I'm trying to lift a whole box of Bhagavatams. Very difficult. But devotees are taking the endeavor and carrying whole boxes of Bhagavatams and distributing them to the masses of Kali Yuga. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. This Bhagavatam is creating a revolution in the lives of an impious civilization. Shonika Rishi was asking, how did Yudhisthira Maharaj rule his subjects after taking home his rightful inheritance? This is first canto, 10th chapter of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Sutta Goswami, he replied that the Supreme Lord made all the arrangements for the war of Kurukshetra. Dharmikshetra, Kurukshetra, Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kima Korvata Sanjaya. So the battle of Kurukshetra was all the arrangement of the Lord to illuminate the pages of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and to give us Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. It was quite a battle. Went on for 18 days and all the enemies were killed. It was very, very powerful. Yud, the Kuru dynasty, was saved from the bamboo fire of anger. Bhishma Dev was on the bed of arrows and speaking words of wisdom. Lord Krishna is also there, enlightening the Pandavas. And so the Lord guided the righteous Pandavas, and Yudhisthira Maharaj was installed as the king. King Yudhisthira ki jai. So after fulfilling his desire, his mission to establish King Yudhisthira as the king in Hastinapur, then Lord Krishna is starting to think about departure for Dwarka. So as Lord Krishna is getting ready to depart, everyone's hearts are just melting in separation. There's Kunti and all the other ladies, Gandharvi, and all the different devotees there in Hastinapur, the Pandavas, they're all going into separation. Their hearts are melting like a pot on the fire. So much melting. It was very intense, the separation, because the Lord had been intimately associating with them, face to face, talking with them, joking with them, sometimes sleeping on the same bed with them. And it was such a heartbreaking experience that the Lord, after all of this, now the Lord is leaving Hastinapur and traveling to Dwarka. So that moment came, he was getting ready to board the chariot. The residents of Hastinapur were giving him a glorious send-off. There were musical instruments like veenas and tamburas and drums like mridangas, dola, nagaraj. The doom-dooby drums were playing. Flutes were playing, veenas were playing, gomuk, berry, all these instruments. And then the Lord began to depart. Arjuna was holding a beautiful pearl-encrusted umbrella over the head of the Lord. And the ladies, they got up on the balcony. They went up on the terrace. And they were so much absorbed in the transcendental qualities of the Lord that we hear in today's verse. The ladies begin to sing beautiful poetries about the Lord. And these selected poetries, even though the ladies were not advanced Sanskrit scholars, some of them may have been, but most of them were not. Then their talks about Krishna, these songs, were more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. So have you ever met a devotee who spoke Krishna Katha so sweetly, spoke so much about Krishna that you felt inspired just by hearing from them? Does anyone have an experience? Yes? Would anyone like to share their experience? Do we have a second mic? Dusra mic? Yes? Who would like to share their experience of hearing from a devotee that just inspired you so much? Haru Pokijiye. Don't sleep. Wake up. Yes, one hand is there, please. And the mic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, first of all, my very respectful obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet, followers to Srila Prabhupada. There have been many devotees in our movement, but particularly His Grace Hari Parsha Prabhu. Whenever I listen to him, he inspires me. He makes bhakti so simple. every single day when I wake up, it feels like, will I be able to go through this day? Whether I'll be able to do my sadhana in a nice way? But one lecture from him, and he breaks it down so simply that it just makes it feel that, oh, it's so easy. All I have to do is just go and be there. So yes, Maharaj, there have been many other devotees and many experiences. My mother is His Grace Ram Govinda Prabhu from the Alachua Temple. He's also my Shiksha Guru, so his talks are also very inspiring. Thank you.
Jai Ho, thank you so much. Prabhu ki Jai, Hari Parshad Prabhu ki Jai. So Hari Parshad Prabhu is another devotee I had the opportunity to meet a few times. And he's a member of the GBC Shastric Advisory Committee, SAC. So when the GBC wants Shastric guidance, they go to devotees like Hari Parshad Prabhu. So the GBC can take guidance from Hari Parshad Prabhu, and to speak of us, guidance and inspiration. And Pran Govind Prabhu, also a very dear friend of mine, we stayed in a room together in New York, which is one of his preaching fields. And recently he started an ashram in Alachua. And Alachua is the place where there's the highest concentration of Prabhupada disciples on the planet. There's approximately 300 Prabhupada disciples living there. And Pran Govind Prabhu is a grand disciple. But still they always ask him to give classes, because his classes are so inspiring and shastrically sound. So like that, when devotees speak Krishna Katha, it's just so nectarian, it's so enlightening and enlivening. Mataji sharing us her wake-up routine. Right? Wake up, put on the Shravanam, put on something to hear, get inspired, move forward in Krishna consciousness, and then start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there are many discussions in the Vedas. There's the Mahabharata, which has over 8 lakh verses, including the Bhagavad Gita. There's the Vedas themselves, Atharva Veda, Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda. There's the Ramayana, and there's many, many other Vedic literatures, 108 Upanishads, Itihasas, so many different aspects of the Vedas. But the topmost Veda, the topmost Vedic literature is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is referred to as the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literature. If you have a tree, the best part of the tree are the fruits. And the best fruit is the ripened fruit. Sweet, tasty, juicy. Just like right now we're in the mango season. Mango season ki jai. Amras ki jai. So I just came from Australia recently. In Australia it's winter time. And I came into Maharashtrian heat. And I was like, oh, it's very hot here. But we have amras. It's worth it. So the amras is compared to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And devotees are drinking that ripened fruit, that amras of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Nigamakалпатaro galitam phalam Shukamukaramita drava samyatam Pivata bhagavatam rasamayam Mohuraho rasika bhuvibhakaha O expert and thoughtful men, relish in the Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of the Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lotus lips of Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore this fruit has become even more tasteful. Although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki. It's also a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. We can chant together. Sarvasya Chaham Vivisayeso Matasmriti Jnana Bholancha Vedaisya Sarvayameva Vidyo Vedanta Vidveda Videva Cham. Who has the mic? Mike, can you read the translation, please?
I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Thank you so much. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text number 15. So Krishna is compiling the Vedas. He's a knower of the Vedas. And all the Vedas in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the ripened fruit. The juice is coming from the tree. Everyone's drinking. So we have a postbox analogy. You may write a very nice letter, but if you put it in a random box, will it go anywhere? If you put it in a garbage bin, will it go to the recipient? If you put it in a shoebox, will it go to the recipient? No. In order for the letter to go to the proper recipient, it has to go in the authorized postbox. So similarly, we can't avoid talking. This is our nature. We are always speaking something. But just as watering the root of the tree nourishes the entire plant, similarly, when we talk about Krishna, it goes to the proper recipient. Everything becomes perfect. Just like a spontaneous attraction for the Lord. The gopis, not the gopis, the women of Hastinapur are spontaneously attracted to Krishna. And they're speaking about Krishna, always thinking about Krishna. Just like a mother and child. The mother is cooking, cleaning, working, always listening, how's the child doing? So similarly, her mind is always on the child. So the devotee, the pure devotee's mind is always on Krishna, never away from Krishna. Let's chant this beautiful shloka together. Who has the mic? Okay, can pass it. Please read the translation.
The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and peace from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Jai, thank you. Tushanti cha, romanti cha. Devotees get great pleasure and bliss from always speaking about Krishna. Now there's a difference between knowledge and realization. So this is the medical book analogy. A patient may read every medical book, but still will not become healthy because the patient needs actual treatment. So similarly, one may study scriptures as a scholar, but remain materially attached. Formation of the heart, bhakti, not just mundane scholarship. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives another analogy of a mundane scholar studying the scriptures. And that analogy is Licking the outside of the bottle of honey. If they study the scriptures without bhakti, it's just like licking the outside of the bottle of honey. The devotee opens the bottle of honey and tastes the sweetness through service, through bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijananti Yavanyas-chasmi tattvataha Tatomam tattvato bhaktya Nitya yukta upasate. Through bhakti, one is always connected to Krishna. Another example is counting another man's money. A bank or cashier may count millions, but not own a single penny. Similarly, a scholar may quote thousands of verses, but still lack devotion. So, Prabhupada gives an example. The scholar, he's writing a PhD on the Rasa Leela of Krishna, and then sits down to smoke a bidi and drink some alcohol. So it's not devotion. So why the talks of the residents, the ladies of Hastinapur, were greater than the Vedic hymns is because of the electric wire analogy. The copper wire looks ordinary, but it acts like electricity. So similarly, ordinary language, ordinary talk, when we connect it to Krishna, when we speak about Krishna, it becomes powerful, spiritually potent, and it connects us to the spiritual energy. When a devotee is connected to the spiritual energy, it's like iron in the fire. When iron is cold, it's just like a piece of metal. But when you put the iron in the fire, it becomes red hot. And it can act like fire. It takes on the color of fire. If you touch it, it burns. It acts just like fire. So words connected with Krishna are like iron in the fire, becomes spiritualized. They act like Krishna, and Krishna is pavitram, he's pure. So coming in contact with Krishna Katha, we become purified. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dharma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shasvato Divyam Haridevam Ajam Vibhom. So Lord Krishna has all these wonderful qualities. Ajam, he's unborn. Vibhum, he's the greatest. And Pavitram, he's totally pure. So when we speak about Krishna, we come in contact with the Supreme Pure, and we become purified. So Narottam Das Thakur is mentioned in the purport today. He did not speak in highest Sanskrit. He wrote his songs in simple Bengali poetry. Yet Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a great devotee, great Sanskrit scholar, he accepted the songs of Narottam Das Thakur as good as the Vedic literature. Why? Because of the connection with Krishna. Radha Krishna Pranamor Yugala Kishore. Radha Krishna Pranamora Yugala Kishore. Radha Krishna Pranamora Yugala Kishore. kind couple, always useful, so beautiful. And when we sing about them, whether it's Bengali or Sanskrit or any language, we become purified. And it actually acts as a rasayan to restore the bhakti in our hearts. It's a beautiful verse, Gopi Geet, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 10:31-9. You can do this with Karta Mridanga, as His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj often would do. Tava katam ritam Tata jivanam Kavirgiritam Kamashapanam Shabadamangalam Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Bhumi Krinantiye Bhumi Bhajana. Sab log boliye.
The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and all people in the spiritual world. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most knowledgeable.
Thank you so much. So, microphone analogy. Microphone can be used for politics, cinema, Bollywood, Tollywood. Anything special here in Bengaluru? Bengaluru wood.
Bollywood.
Huh?
Bollywood.
Bollywood, right? Hollywood. Gossip or Krishna consciousness. Same microphone, different uses, different consciousness. So also, just as the iron is attracted towards the magnet, how can we practically develop a spontaneous, loving consciousness like the ladies of Hastinapur? Let's clean our hearts, develop the loving affection. I think Mataji wanted to take a photo of the magnets, yeah? How can our hearts also be attracted to Krishna like the ladies of Hastinapur? So it requires cleansing of the heart. If the metal balls are rusty, covered with rust, there will not be a strong attraction. We have to clean those balls so they're shining. So similarly, we have to clean our hearts, so our hearts are also shining, so that we can be attracted to the Lord. How to develop that loving affection to the Lord, how to cleanse the heart? Cheto Varpanam Marjanam, chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, in conclusion, today we discussed the rooftop conversation. The wonderful discussion was given us this transcendental message. We can relish hearing these pastimes at every moment. So we should read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and distribute Śrīmad Bhāgavatam to others. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm saying I'm very sad the session will end.
I realized that we have come to the end, and when you asked the question, I was like, oh, is it already over?
Thank you so much for your
Please
kind
come more
comment.
often.
Glad to hear I'm not boring you too much. Yeah, thank you. So the question is, how can Krishna Kirtan never end? Right? That is the question. So, if we go back home, back to Godhead, Krishna Kirtan will never end. Janma karma chale divyam evam yogati tattvataha Chatvadeham punar janma Nayati mameti sojuna knows the transcendental nature of my birth and appearance does not, upon leaving this material body, take birth here again, but instead attains my eternal abode, O son of Kunti. Right. So this Śrīmad Bhāgavad Gita verse explains we have to understand transcendental nature of birth and activities of Krishna. And achieving that, having the mercy of Guru, Vaishnavas, Lord Chaitanya, Shri Krishna, then at the end of this life, Zawa Devajiya Gawa. That's Marathi. We're going back home, back to Gaya. Or in Bengaluru, Chalo Vaikunta. Right? Golok Dham. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions or comments?
Standing kirtan.
Excuse me?
Standing kirtan.
Standing kirtan. Would you like to have more kirtan? Would you like to sit or would you like to dance?
Yes.
Okay, everyone please stand up. Once again, Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.